Exactly.
Right, and that's Brian.
Yep.
Hi there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes, hi, this is Brian. All right. Very good.
We can start at
Nope.
36.
Cindy,
Oh, there's Cindy.
so she can come in as a
Okay.
panelist.
Sorry, I'm late.
No problem. Brian's been late too. So,
Okay.
but we're all here now.
There's just so much traffic. I really have to like build in extra time.
All right, since I'm on the phone, you guys are going to have to cue me into when things are moving on theirs. Are we officially underway?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. So, Tom, can you do the roll call?
Yes, roll call is, I'm the only person here in person, Tom Olson, member. I'll turn it over to Lori, Cindy, and yourself are all virtual.
Okay, Lori, Cindy, and myself.
And on
Okay.
the staff side, we have Deb Jones and Greg Hanover here. Mark Berry sends his regrets, and we have not heard from the town manager or the police chief.
Okay. Our second item is communications, and has anyone on the committee had any communications related to the committee? Okay, hearing none. I've had communications related to item 5, downtown Mississippi repaving, so I will just hold those until we reach that item. Item 3 is approval of June minutes.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the June minutes as presented with 2 corrections. One is to delete the video recording because that was never posted. And also for the roll call, I put a time start at 3:03, which is incorrect. It should be 3:30 PM.
Yeah. All right. Can we have a second?
I'll second to approve with the changes.
All right. Any comments from the committee? Hearing none. All in favor of approving minutes?
Hi.
Aye.
Thank you.
Perfect. Item 4 is new business regarding the pump track construction. And in case you're not aware, construction on the project started, well, actually it started some weeks ago with installation of a water line from Depot Road to the site. That was done by a separate contract, so that was in place when the general contractor commenced work a couple of weeks ago, and the first phase of the work was to do the basic grading to prepare the site for installation of the track and to install the drainage, which consists of a couple rain gardens with overflow piping to the storm system that ultimately outlets into the Pequannock River. So that was all done according to best management practices to prevent sedimentation into the existing system in the river. That was all permitted by the town, and that was done first. What's been going on this week and last week is that the construction of the track itself has been underway, and what's involved in that is the special soil blend has been trucked in. It's being trucked in kind of in stages from the soil company, which is actually just over the state line in Massachusetts, the mixture of clay and sand. And the as far as I understand, we're about 1/3 through construction of the track itself. It's being inspected by Tim McGee from my office on a near daily basis. And I understand that the guy who's running the excavation machine is a mountain biker and has experience with pump tracks also. So that's really good to have people building it that are familiar with it. They have a bicycle that they use to test it as they go, and so it's looking really good. If you haven't pulled into the Pequannock Boardwalk Park, feel free to do so. You could probably walk right up to the construction fence and take a look at this. I think Parks and Rec has also been posting photos on their Facebook page. So it's really exciting. It should be in good shape as far as the track itself is concerned within a couple of weeks. What's lacking, though, is the fundraising over the course of time did not include enough for a fence. The town matched by Groton's $80,000, so it was $160,000 for the various parts of the project. That just wasn't enough for a fence. So we're commencing, that is, Bike Groton is commencing a fundraising appeal for the fence. Bike Groton has received $1,000 from the Groton Parks Foundation and $1,000 from Groton Rotary, which has been very helpful. So we have an anonymous donor who's matching all the contributions. So we're optimistic we'll have that taken care of relatively soon. So that's the current status of the pump track. Have you guys seen it? Do you have any questions about it?
I've seen it. I stopped by yesterday. It's looking good. Quite the group of people doing it. I was impressed with the size of the team, and so it looks very organized and very professional project in progress.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm very excited to see it. As you probably know, I'm traveling. I'm at the moment in Terre Haute, Indiana. We just got here like 5 minutes ago. so I was scrambling to get connected with the meeting. We were in Bentonville, Arkansas this morning. We left from there around 6 o'clock to make it here in time. But I can tell you a little bit about Bentonville at the end. Okay, so that's pump track. Next month, you'll hear more. And now we're on to town projects. And I don't really have anything specific about, no, wait a minute, sorry. We're not there yet. We're on old business. I skipped downtown Mystic, Connecticut DOT repaving sheriff's issue. So as you could see, we talked about this at the last meeting that I would pen a letter to DOT asking about the omission, as it appeared to us, of sharrows. And in the world of transportation planning and engineering, sharrows are part of a type of they call these interventions on roadways, type of shared road intervention or share road demarcation. And share road basically means vehicles are sharing with other users. In this case, specifically, we're talking about cyclists. And so we had asked why sharrows and the associated signage were not included in the repaving project, which is referred to as a VIP project. That means vendor in place, not very important anything. And I sent a letter to everyone, and I got a response back from the maintenance engineer at District 2 in Norwich. So we are part of District 2, and everybody should have received the copy of that email response, basically saying that these interventions are not part of VIP programming. The the state is slowly moving towards incorporating bicycle interventions on VIP projects, but they're just not there yet. And there wasn't enough time between the town and the district, or the council of governments, that is, requesting this and the actual project being contracted for it to even be considered for Mystic. So it was a lack of advance warning, and it was also just the fact that it hasn't been done yet in this kind of program on a state road. So I reached out to the folks in the active transportation unit at DOT, and they explained, yeah, that is the situation, that they're working on incorporating these sorts of things into the VIP program, but this just hasn't been incorporated. Hopefully it will be. So that leaves us with the kind of the existing condition in downtown Mystic is what it is. What I would like to propose is that we ask for a very minor bicycle-related improvement, which would involve placing a sign at each end of the project. So there would be two on the Groton side of the river. One would be at about Allen Street near the intersection, West Mystic Allen and Route 1. That's where this project ended. And one would be on Route 215, Water Street, near where my office is, which is where it ended on Route 215. And then one could be on the Stonington and out on William Street. And it would simply be a sign that is it's an approved compliance sign that states bicycles may use full lane. And instead of the word bicycle, it uses the symbol of a bicycle, may use full lane. And that's actually quite common in places like this where there's no space for bicycles, speeds are low, and it's just letting everybody know you're entering an area where you just have to mix with bikes and cars. So it doesn't involve any striping or any painting of any kind on the roadways. It's just 3 signs. So want to know what you guys think about that, and if there's consensus on that, then we could go back to District 2. We could talk with our traffic authority and Stonington's traffic authority and see if there's an overall agreement or consensus or a willingness to work towards just this simple measure. So I've seen this in a lot of places. These signs are all over Bentonville, and there are also a lot of sharrows there as just an example. But there are also plenty of streets where there are not sharrows. There's just a sign letting everybody know to be, careful. So what do you all think about that?
This is Tom Olson. From my viewpoint, I think this is something that really falls more in the realm of the traffic authority and public works, as far as on, because are you looking for the state to put these signs up and pay for them and everything?
Well, so that's part of the issue is, and that is that the state has indicated that they do not put these up and pay for them. Doesn't mean that the towns couldn't ask the state to put them up and pay for them, and it would remain to be seen what their response to that is. But at the moment, the policy of the state is that for bicycle-related shared roadway interventions, towns are paying for them. And Greg could probably enlighten us as to who paid for what over on Route 215 on the Noank side, where sharrows and signs were recently installed, last year installed. My understanding, Greg, is that the town paid for that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We paid for the pavement markings and the signage. We got an encroachment permit from District 2.
Because to me, that sounds like what we want to be doing here. Because as far as, one thing is we went and got the master plan here. And I think if there's nothing going to be happening on that pavement for that stretch from Allen Street to the bridge on Route 1, I thought we had or in our master plan had already said it was going to be sharrowed. So why don't we just go request like if he says it needs an easement to go do that, that'd be the thing to do. And if that's done through the traffic authority / public works, it's really outside of our scope here. As we put the plan together from the complete streets perspective, and then but the execution's all done on the people that do execution, which is DOT, Public Works, and the Traffic Authority.
That sounds plausible, but there is also the issue of Stonington, occupying the east side of downtown Mystic, and I feel like it would be very important for this, if it were to be an encroachment permit request from Groton, that it should also include an encroachment permit request from Stonington, so that the two sides are combined, because otherwise it's a confusing, discontinuous situation.
Yeah, but the flip side of it is maybe the thing we should be doing as the Complete Streets Committee is talking to the folks in Stonington to either get them to put their plan together for Route 1 with their get a Complete Streets committee going on their side and that type of stuff, but something's got to start from somewhere. And with the town boundaries, we can make suggestions, let them know what we're doing on our side. But, because the state's taking care of the bridge itself, right?
Right.
And so, but we're just looking at from the bridge along Route 1 up to Allen Street. We've got our master plan. I think it says Sharrow's in it. I'm almost positive it does. And so we should be moving out and making our side the way it should be, that we want it. I understand. I understand from the East Coast, or the coastal bikeway plan has everything, including from Stonington's side, but I don't think we need to wait. But we could give a courtesy when we, to them, letting know what we're doing to the first selectman's office there.
I think that we definitely want to do that, and I think it would behoove us to give Stonington an opportunity to either combine or come in concurrently with our request, because I think that gives it more credibility, more weight, rather than Groton just coming in solo and saying, well, we don't know exactly what's going on in Stonington.
I agree.
So
I understand what you're saying now. Thank you.
Hey guys, this
So
is,
I think.
sorry, I'll
Sure,
wait.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I
agree.
think,
Sorry, I'm sorry.
no worries.
We all have a delay. I agree. I think that this is really best practice. And I think, this just is a great example of the continuity that we keep talking about. So I think, some way communicating with Stonington about the intentions or, the plan, I think is a good idea sooner than later.
And just to add a little context, Danielle Teesborough, the first select woman in Stonington, did initiate kind of this conversation with DOT, asking for sheriffs to be included just on the cusp of the project's initiation. So it was too late when she initiated that contact, but there is a letter from the first select woman in Stonington about this, and I think that we should let Stonington know that we're interested in this and see what their response is, because it's possible that we could coordinate our timing and our requests together.
It sounds maybe like what we should be doing here is doing an updated letter here. Now that we have the response from DOT, to at least informing our town, you like you did last time here with Public Works, Planning and Development and stuff. And he did send this letter over to Stonington, but provide an updated letter, for the July update too, that as far as on, now that we have the response from DOT, and ask, plan forward for Sharrows be done, paid for by the by the towns of Stonington and Groton, and I don't know if we can get signage from the state, fine, but is that a viable request, Greg, that we would have signs from, do you provide those signs?
No, we have our own sign shop. We can make signs.
Oh, you make the signs, okay. I didn't know where the signs come from, but it sounds like if each town can do that, and just put a new updated letter together.
Right, but that updated letter shouldn't, I believe, come from the Complete Streets Committee. It should come from the town, from Public Works and or the Traffic Authority. Am I correct with that, about that, Greg?
Well, yeah, the traffic authority has to ultimately approve whatever signs and
Right,
pavement markings we
yeah,
put in. And then if it's on a
Yeah.
state road, we have to get an encroachment permit. So there's a process to go through.
right. And there's,
But
there's
my-
design
my
involved,
point-
right?
Yeah, my point, Brian, my point is that we should be making the recommendation on a way forward here that each town, because the encroachments have to be done to the individual towns anyhow, as well, but that we do it in a coordinated manner, and that this is the recommended way forward, sending this to the traffic authority as the next step, to traffic authorities for both towns as the next steps.
Right.
Okay.
Right. There's also some fiscal requirements. So this will cost the town of Groton money. So that's going to have to be resolved as well.
But I think this is within, this would be a Public Works has to say whether or not this meets his threshold, does it bust the budget of his discretionary funds and that type of stuff too.
right,
That's
exactly.
Greg's to determine once he gets the approval from the traffic authority and stuff.
Right. Okay. All right. So just to be clear, the first communication would be with Stonington to let Stonington know that this is the pathway that we're interested in pursuing, and to get their response. Hopefully, it's in agreement and concurrent. Secondly, we would then request Public Works to, and we can partner with Public Works in a request to the Traffic Authority for an approval to move forward with an encroachment permit. And then third, it would be a question of the funding. Does that sound correct to everyone?
I would have the committee make that request to the traffic authority.
Okay, so committee would make it. All right, so that would be the second step after we've communicated with Stonington.
Correct.
So that would be 1, 2. All right, and then based on traffic authorities' interest response, et cetera, Public Works would then be involved in a discussion about the implications for the requirements of the permit.
Correct.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Tom, does that all make sense as far as the minutes are concerned?
Yes, I'll have it straightened out.
Okay, good. Okay, great. All right. All right.
The
That's
next
good. This
traffic
represents
authority, just
progress.
for your information, the next traffic authority meeting is
Yes.
August 21st.
August 21. Okay. And I can tell you that I won't be in town. If our attendance is necessary. Greg, do you know, are those meetings hybrid or are they only in person?
They're hybrid. You can attend virtually.
They are hybrid.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a possibility. Okay. All right. Next.
Yeah, they don't meet every month.
questions? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I remember previously we waited more than a month to make a presentation about the Mystic Drawbridge a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any more on this issue? Okay, hearing none. Now we're into town projects. Greg, do you have any updates on any of the work you guys are doing?
Just on the paving, we actually finished paving Industrial Drive today. So we'll be wrapping up, doing loaming and seeding the rest of the week. We awarded a contract to Tilcon to repave Colonel Ledger Highway from 184 to the town line. And let's see, Shoeville Road will be up next for our guys to be repaving from Route 27 to the town line.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Shoeville very well, and it's a mess in that, especially in that section between 27 and 184.
Yep.
So that's good. Okay, and are you all done with sidewalk projects on Route 1 that were in the hopper?
No, we are signing a contract with the contractor to do the Route 1 sidewalk up by the wooden tap on the west side there between Kings Highway and Bridge Street. So I'm assuming that'll be going in the next month or so.
Oh,
and then
great.
we
Okay.
are still working on the designs for the Route 1 sidewalk from about Johnson's Hardware to towards Human Services. There's a missing section there.
Okay, that's right. That sounds good.
And
Okay.
then just on other projects, I just let everybody know that the renovations to Sutton Park are out to bid. And of what might be interest to this group is that as part of that work, there's an alternate bid to install a bike path on the eastern side of the park from Route 1, the multi-use trail along Route 1, along the east side of the park, all the way to the back, and then it goes through a narrow easement and connects to Midway Oval.
Yeah, let's hope that is within budget, because that would be great to get that done. When are bids due for that?
August 21st.
Okay, August 21st again. 1 second.
Busy day.
All right. Well, thank you. Next item is other projects. And first, I'll give anyone on the committee an opportunity to contribute anything. Do you have, or are you aware of any projects or initiatives or issues you'd like to bring up?
This is Tom Olson. The only thing I noted over the last month is that down in Mumford Cove, if you go on the trolley tracks and then you go over the bridge, and then you used to be able to go straight all the way through along Mumford Cove's edge on an easement that's that property belonging to Groton Utilities. They had taken down the gates and it was pretty free for all for the last year or whatever. Well, I guess within the last month here, they've put new gates up, new big rocks, and it's virtually impossible to get to use that property. And they've also posted Mumford Cove, almost like no trespassing signs now. So that it used to be a pretty usable pathway that looks like it's been intentionally shut down. So I don't know what, it's all owned by Groton Utilities, and it's within the Mumford Cove area. So it's legitimate to do it what they were doing, but I just pointed that out to folks that they is no longer available for reasonable biking. You have to really make an effort to get onto it if you want to use it.
So what you just said, I don't know if I entirely agree with, because my understanding is that transmission corridor it's not an easement, that it's a fee-owned right-of-way by Groton Utilities.
It is yes, that's a true statement, but people have been using it as a trail.
Correct.
All the way to.
And so I know that too, but for Mumford Cove to do work inside that right-of-way that blocks public access, that seems to me to exceed their rights. And
well,
so
Mumford Cove can do what they want with internal to them, because I mean they put up a Mumford Cove sign at the gate, these new gates that they installed and the new rocks that they installed.
So is that on Mumford Cove property or Groton Utilities?
Well,
property?
it's on the utility, it's on Groton Utilities property,
Okay.
but that's within the boundaries of
Sure,
Mumford Cove
sure,
Association.
Sure. So possibly Mumford Cove got permission from Groton Utilities to place that stuff there, or?
Right.
Groton Utility, they
Possibly
both
did.
did it together, it looks like. Okay, because there's a new Mumford Cove sign as well as a new Groton Utilities barriers.
So Groton Utilities may have authorized that work and
yeah.
participated.
Right.
There used to be also a gate with like a code that I believe Mumford Cove users had the code. to
That's
get the
still
gate.
there.
to get
Okay.
on the street.
That's to get on the street.
Gotcha.
So Tom, do you by chance have a photograph of this?
No, I don't think I took a photograph in my recently. I rode my bike around there. I did able to push my bike, I had to lay it down, slide it underneath, and it was a real pain. It used to be able to at least
Right,
kind of walk
right.
around and stuff. Now the way they put the rocks and stuff, you can't even get a bicycle through there. It's a real pain. But I can run down and
All right.
get you a picture when I get done here. I'm on my bike. It's not very far out of the way.
That'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be great. I think this is a query for Groton Utilities. We'd like to know if
What the
if they
intention
were
was?
involved in this.
Yeah.
And then it's an issue regarding whether public access on that right of way is it a right at all, or is it entirely up to Groton Utilities whether
It's
the public
entirely,
has the right to
I
that
read
access?
their deed.
Because-
And the deed that they have, there's nothing in there that requires any kind of public access. Because it's for a water supply down for originally to Groton Long Point. It was sold by Groton Long Point to them.
Okay. All right. Well, we just want to understand kind of what was the chain of communication as far as, who asked for it. I assume that the Mumford Cove asked for it, and then Groton Utilities attitude or their position regarding public access. If they're willing to just deny public access there, we need to know if that's an official policy or not.
Okay, I'll get you pictures.
Okay, thank you. Deb, do you have any commentary on this?
No, I think Tom's exactly right with regards to whether it's public access and the ownership. So I think, if Groton Utilities chooses to do it, they have the authority to do it. But maybe they didn't realize how much pedestrian traffic or bicycle traffic there is there.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just have to leave it at that. I don't think there's anything else that we can do about it now.
Kind of reminds me of my Tri-Town Trails.
Tri-Town Trail, that's a leg of a variety of planned access points and connections, but it's a challenge for sure. All right, so I have an issue to bring up, and it has to do with the state's recent authorization. It was a law that was passed, I think, last year, allowing municipalities to apply for and, if approved, install automated traffic enforcement devices, so basically speed cameras. And it's beginning to be implemented in some communities. Washington, Connecticut was the first. There have been a couple of other communities, including New Haven, that have made it through the application process and been approved, and I think have installed the cameras. And the way it works is these cameras, you probably all know this, but they photograph vehicles on specific roadways in specific locations. They can be at intersections where there's been a pattern of dangerous behavior, like running red lights. they can be on stretches of road where there's a pattern of speeding. And the results in the towns where this has been implemented have been very dramatic. In Washington, for example, just the posting of signage that alerted drivers that these cameras were being installed resulted in a dramatic decrease in speeding. And they've seen that it's just had an effect in slowing the traffic dramatically in places where previously it was a problem. So towns are all looking at these examples and thinking about whether they want to install these enforcement cameras in their towns. And so because we are the Police Streets Advisory Committee, it's on our radar. But the question is, where, if this were to be brought up in Groton, where would it be initiated? Because it could be initiated by the traffic authority. Ultimately, the traffic authority, of course, has to make the application to the state. It could be initiated by the town council. It could be initiated by Public Works. It could be initiated by the police chief. Of course, he's half of the traffic authority. And there's no question that it will be controversial. So I just want us to begin a discussion where we talk a little bit about it, we learn more about it, and then we put out feelers to other entities that I've just mentioned about what the opinion is and whether it should be brought up. It could be brought up by an individual that could attend a town council meeting and ask the council to consider it. But like I said, it's controversial, to be highly charged, and it'll create, back and forth, a lot of back and forth discussion, pro and con. So are you all familiar with this beyond my description? Do you have an opinion on it? Let's just have a brief discussion here about what our various opinions are.
Well, one thing that I attended the state representative meeting, town hall meeting yesterday with the Baumgartner, Gajewski, and Noland, and it was mentioned at that the city of Groton is instituting an initiative to install traffic cameras. So I just point that out right now that they're probably, if the city's already doing this, I know it's because they have their own police force that they have the authority to go forward on their own to do this. But normally when that happens, that they do inform the town of what they're doing for coordination factors. So just be aware of that.
Okay, that's really interesting. I didn't know that the city was looking into it.
Yeah, that's just because they've had a lot of complaints in relative. There was a lot of complaints at this meeting yesterday about electric boat traffic, particularly the noise and the volumes with what's happening over at Electric Boat with now that they're pretty much at near maximum occupancy over there for employment purposes. But there's a lot of complaints in regard to noise and they want the state to come in, because that's all state roads coming in there, that they wanted their representatives to be taking more proactive actions with to put up sound barriers and better traffic control and get better enforcement actions going.
Okay, understandable. All right. So any comments about where this should come from? I think it could come from us just in the form of discussions with our town staff and our elected representatives to just let them know that informally we are aware of it. Are we in agreement as a committee here that this is a positive change for the town to implement automated traffic enforcement, or do any of you have reservations or oppositions to this idea?
I would support it, but I think that we need to have a very targeted area in regard to like an analysis of what were the critical intersections or zones from the data that I know with FHI, you know, they have access, they had the access to identify critical areas as they were going through things, and we had initiated a traffic study along Route 1. I think, you know, having the results of that would be critical to being able to justify going forward. And I don't know where we are with those results of that traffic analysis. But I think we need to have that before we would be moving forward to justifying, to ensuring sufficient justification to the public that this process is worthy of requesting state approval.
So Tom, are you referring to the TSA application, traffic safety analysis application that, and the town, my understanding is, asked DOT to consider the entire section of Route 1, or the section from Ring, or from the entrance to Sutton Park to Route 12. And Greg, I believe that was submitted through the traffic authority a couple of months ago. Is that correct?
Well, we had approval from the traffic authority to submit it on their behalf, which we did. It was from Ring Drive to Tollgate Road on Route 1 and Route 12.
Yes.
Route 12. And DOT responded that they currently do not have a consultant working on this program, and that they would contact us when they hired somebody, and we haven't heard back from them since. So I don't know where it's at DOT.
So we're waiting on that. But that isn't necessarily required for this process to move forward. So, for example, there's the data that FHI had collected on accidents, on average daily traffic. Our police department clearly has data on speeding data, and you know, it's going to need to be very selective. We're not going to suggest that these are all over town, but in the hot spots where there's dangerous conditions and really that's what drives us. That's where this could be located. There are also some criteria related to the demographic makeup of the surrounding context. So there's concern about putting these in like underserved communities of economic disparity and that sort of thing, so that those communities aren't disproportionately impacted by the fines that would be generated. So there are a variety of criteria that are all part of the application, and that, you know, you can kind of predict in advance where you are more likely to receive approval. So I like the idea of just putting this in the minutes and then asking our staff here to investigate whether this has come up at the town level. And then next, if we meet next month, we'll talk about that next. We can then move a little further down the road. Okay. Any more comments or any questions? Okay. Hearing none. So we've come to the end of the meeting, and the last item I have relates to August. And on the date of the August meeting, I will be on a bicycle on a rail trail in Vermont. I'm pretty sure I won't have access for the time to attend the meeting. And if I'm not mistaken, we have canceled a summer meeting in the past. Does anyone remember whether that was the case or not? I'm remembering that we've canceled a summer meeting because of folks being unavailable and that sort of thing and wanting a break.
I think it was more of I thought it was back like in March or April when we were all on travel and stuff, but there's no, I'm available, but I don't know what the other folks are.
So should we,
Just
okay, so we
Cindy,
could go ahead
I'll be
and,
I'll be in New Hampshire that week.
okay,
I believe I'll be available, but yeah, I think the other one that we canceled was maybe April.
oh, that's right, when I was, yeah, sorry, it's all my fault. I keep traveling on our meeting dates. Today worked out pretty well, though. Why don't we just poll the committee afterwards? We can send out an email just asking about everyone's availability that day, and then we'll determine whether we have a quorum or not, and then we'll make a decision.
Yeah, I think you need some input from Patrice if she's going to be here, because
Mhm.
you're right
Right.
now, 2 no's, 2 yeses, and she's the deciding vote.
True. Okay. All right. So we'll do that. I'll follow that up. I'm going to be back in town on Saturday night and Sunday. I'm going to visit the pump track, and Monday I'll be back at work taking care of issues like this. So that all sounds fine. I think we're ready to adjourn. So can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you all very much. Have a great rest of your week and a good
Thanks,
weekend.
Brian.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Brian.
Okay.
Bye, guys.